And welcome to the CharCole Sports Show. That was, let's just say, an interesting introduction song there, Cole Larsch. I'm Charlie Prien, joined by Cole Larsch. Should be a fun one today. We're still getting the hang of things here, folks, so bear with us here. 6:02 p.m. Central Time, and Cole and I are ready to take a nap.
That is true.
It's been a long week already, Cole. So
it has, and it's only been a 2-day week, which is weird.
Yeah, I know. It's just felt, with midterms coming up, and I'm sure you've dealt with it too. These teachers they're making their voices heard. So
yes,
it's been a week up to this point, 2 days in, and the weekend slate for the Vikings and our pro team, no bueno. And we're going to talk about that here right away. But if you want to talk about anything throughout the show, a comment, a question, a concern, or anything you want us to talk about, let us know. I'll give you the phone number, the phone line here. So hopefully you're getting your pen, phone, I don't know what you're getting ready. But here's the phone number. I'll give it to you a few times. 605-658-6813. Again, that phone number, 605-658-6813. Cole, we'll talk about that a few more times throughout the show. But let's get into the game on Sunday. We didn't watch it together.
We did not know.
But we did need to be together. We spoke about it, through a series of Twitter DMs. Not good, Cole. Not good.
No, it wasn't. It was just overall, just as a whole, just a disappointing game. Every time it looked like we had a decent chance, something happened. And, of course, in typical Minnesota Vikings fashion so far through the 2023-24 season, a fumble on the first play of the game. The first play. You cannot – I don't know what the NFL scriptwriters are getting paid, but there is no way they scripted that.
So I did see a stat, and I know I won't be able to find the tweet because it was from a Vikings fan account, and I'm sure they've tweeted 200 and 300 times since then.
At least.
But the tweet said – on the Vikings' first drives of their first, 5 games is it now? They have legitimately, Cole, they haven't scored in the first quarter all year, which, that's a killer. But they haven't scored in the first quarter.
Except for the last game.
Well, right. But you think about what happened on all of their first drives, punts or turnovers are the results. So you have to be able to capitalize right away.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to point any more fingers or if I want to talk about this for that long. I'm just tired of it, man.
Yeah, we talked about it. I kind of alluded to it a little bit in the little pregame spiel that I usually have, which, by the way, I did not realize that they had the full 30-second intro to kickstart my heart. That was what's kind of interesting. I just wanted the guitar part and let's get it rolling. But, yeah, overall just a very disappointing game, and we expect nothing else from this team, unfortunately, because that's how it's been going all season.
Yeah, it hurt, but I'll tell you what, Sunday at 12 o'clock, I'll be watching again.
Yeah, of course we will. We got,
part of it, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. I wish it didn't.
It's hurt, man, but, and then the big loss of the weekend wasn't even the game. It was Justin Jefferson.
That's the worst part, in my opinion.
I don't even know. You lose Justin Jefferson, not for the full season, but for sure 4 games. Injured reserve makes 4 games for sure.
At least 4.
It hurts. We elevated N'Keal Harry, and Jordan Addison has a hurt ankle now, and we're going to end up having to throw the ball to KJ Osborne, who can't catch, or TJ Hawkinson, who can't catch, or N'Keal Harry, who can't even get down the field. So
that's one other thing is you are the highest paid tight end in the league. And all 3 of your drops went right through your hands.
7 drops for the Vikings on Sunday?
At least 6 or 7. And here comes everybody saying, "Oh, Kirk Cousins is the problem." I don't know about that one, Chief.
But I agree. But here's the deal. I've been a Kirk lover since we signed him. Okay.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I've loved Kirk, and I really do. I love everything he's about. But here's the deal, Cole. If you have somebody else back there that can facilitate a little bit better, can maybe run the ball, can maybe, sidearm it when he needs to, do what Patrick Mahomes does. And I'm not saying that everyone can be Patrick Mahomes because there's a reason that the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the league.
True.
And you don't want to have a Lamar Jackson unless if you're a true Raven fan, you're probably not too upset because Lamar's having a really great year this year.
He is, actually. About time, I should say.
Yeah, but you have to find the happy medium, and Kirk just will not run the ball and is not, and that's fine. But he makes really educated passes. But I have seen a few all-22, which is the wide shot of the field in the Chiefs game. And Kirk missed some passes.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing is everybody's going to miss passes.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah, Kirk, he has a no-trade clause on his contract. So
he won't get traded.
He won't get traded, I don't think, unless the Vikings get a crazy offer. But he'd have to waive the clause, and for that to happen, the Vikings would have to ask Kirk to waive his clause, and if he says no, then that makes things even more just tense between Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, and I could talk about this team all day. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah has lost my respect a little bit. He did an interview on, I think it was Monday, and he spoke about how there's mathematical odds to our season up to this point, and it's not just everything's, going wrong. We've won one game, but he said I can tell you the mathematical probability. And I'm like, Kwesi, I don't need to know the mathematical probability. I need to win games.
Mathematical probability doesn't matter when you're 1-4.
No, and I'm like,
what I kind of mentioned it last week was like the amount of turnovers are freakish, but there was only one last week.
Right, and I told Ben Loftman.
It was on the first play of the game.
Right. And Josh Oliver usually. But, everybody's having those issues. I don't even know.
But then I think one more thing, and then we're going to have to move on about this, or we're never going to move on, is that was a well-placed hit by that defender because his shoulder was right on where the ball was. So,
Right. Yes, it was.
There's not a lot he could have done about it, but, still, come on. Hold on to the ball, would you?
Just before we get into, and we will talk about the Vikings box score, but we won't go into much more detail after that. Then we'll talk about the NFL as a whole for about 5-6 more minutes, and last week's play, and then next week's play as well. Then we'll get into the mock draft. It'll be really quick this week. We're not going to spend too much time, just kind of like what we like we always do. But Cole,
I got to say, I already closed out the Vikings box score.
Right, yeah, but let's take.
They lost 27-20. That's about it.
That's about it. Let's start at the top on Thursday night, Cole. Wasn't that the terrible game?
Bears Commanders.
Yeah, there we go.
There's a lot of not good games. I'm just going to highlight some things here. Bears 40, Commanders 20.
DJ Moore had a heck of a game.
Yeah, he did, which, fantasy lovers rejoice.
They've been waiting.
Yeah, they have been waiting. I think he's probably gotten less than 35 up to that point, and he had, 40 at that
40
point?
40-some, yeah.
The Jags upset the Bills 25-20 over there in London town.
The Bills played bad. They played bad.
Terrible.
Bad. I don't know. I know you weren't awake for that one, but I had that thing on. I'm like,
hey, I caught the fourth quarter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you rewinded it. No, the Bills played bad, Cole.
Yeah, they did. They played terrible. It's just they're so inconsistent that it's not even funny. It's which is amazing because they've got a good team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, I don't know. Moving on here, Colts Titans. The Patriots. Is Bill Belichick on the hot seat right now? Is he gonna leave coaching and just be a GM, or is he never gonna hang it up?
I don't know,
because he has just had in the last 2 weeks the two worst losses of his career.
They're chalking it up to the offense, though. They're not saying it's Bill's fault.
But when you think about all the good teams that Bill Belichick had, the only good offensive player he had was Tom Brady for a while there.
Right.
Before they actually got some receivers around him, all he had was Tom Brady, and he was winning games.
Absolutely. I don't know. You cannot possibly throw up a zero spot. That's bad.
Against the Saints.
The Saints.
The Vikings could score 7 points in the Saints right now.
Well, yeah. We can score points on anybody. It's just a matter of how we lose the game.
Right. Like burning all your timeouts in the third quarter. Anyway. There's not a whole lot of interesting scores that really tickle my fancy right now.
Tickle your fancy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals offense showed up finally for the year, so that was cool. I had Jamar Chase in my fantasy lineup. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he had a nice week. 7-11. Did you see that post?
I did see that instantly as soon as the game ended.
Apparently, he had that lined up before the game even got done.
That's little mic'd up moment right there. What I heard.
You said your trap game of the week, Cole.
What was the trap game of the week?
Your trap game of the week was the Eagles and the Rams.
Oh, that is true. And I picked the Rams.
You did.
Plus 4.5. And for a while there, it looked like they might hang in. Eagles are good, man.
Yeah, they are good. They took care of business when they were supposed to. There was one game that we skipped over that we should have spoke on. The Lions.
Oh, yeah, Lions.
Smacked the Panthers.
I mean, that wasn't even.
Okay, I will say, a lot of things went right for the Lions, but when you're that good of a football team, it just goes your way.
You see the 2 trick plays they ran?
Yeah.
And one of them was a triple reverse pass to a wide open Sam Laporta. And one of them, Jared Goff stands up like he's giving an audible, and they just snap it right between his legs. I mean,
that was funny.
Who thinks of that?
I don't know, but
you think Dan Campbell thinks all that?
Maybe. I mean, a lot of it.
He would be the type of guy to think of him.
Oh, absolutely. But I think a lot of it is the players. Cole, there's one big thing happening right now in Detroit that's making a lot of people, and more importantly, fantasy owners, upset, and that is the usage of Jahmyr Gibbs. He is not playing.
Or the non-usage.
Well, yes, the non-usage of Jahmyr Gibbs. People are very upset.
He didn't play last week. I thought he was hurt last week.
Yes.
Wasn't he?
Yes, he was. But, I mean, just the matter of the fact is he has to play football because you used a very high overall draft pick, and they could have drafted Bijan.
But I don't think they also imagined that David Montgomery was going to have this really good start to the year yet.
That's fair.
Especially coming off injury.
Right, but when you're running behind that offensive line, I mean, it's going to be hard not to.
True.
You give and take. Anyways.
Rushing right now, Jahmyr Gibbs, 39 carries, 179. No touchdowns. David Montgomery, 88, 371, and 6.
No good.
That's no good.
Jets, Broncos. I don't know. The news for the Jets, I guess, besides them winning the game.
They can actually put points up on the board?
Yeah, they can score. Rodgers may be coming back faster than people expect. He's trying to do some crazy stuff. Sean Payton and the Broncos are an absolute dumpster fire, and I think it's hilarious because I don't like Sean Payton.
I don't either.
Chiefs, Vikings, we talked about that. Chiefs won by 7. Refs bailed them out. We didn't even talk about the refs at all yet.
Yeah, but I figured that was going to put us down a rabbit hole that it might take us an hour to climb back out of.
We're not going to hit it. 49ers, Cowboys, Cole. Now, this was the shocker of the week.
It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't a shocker that they won, but that they won by 32, and I'm sure that's what you meant. But,
yeah.
I mean, it was just a complete beatdown. It was a butt whooping. I can say that, can't I?
Yeah, I think you can. No, 49ers are good. They sold out, but I think in 2 years, the Niners are not going to be very good. I mean, they have Purdy.
They're going to run out of money.
Yeah, that. And
I think they're already out of money.
Yeah, they are out of money. Like, the cap room's a myth with them guys. We're actually moderately on schedule, so I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Raiders beat the Packers by 4. Not too great. Devontae Adams and the gang for the Raiders. They won by 4, though. Cole, let's get to week 6.
I can do that. You want me to run through them?
Yeah, you run through them, and we'll just kind of talk about what we got.
The Thursday, the Chiefs will kill the Broncos.
But they are dealing with some injuries, so...
True, but it's also the Broncos.
Fair.
But it's also a divisional game. Ravens-Titans at 8:30.
If the Ravens don't win this game by more than 4, which is what they're favored by, I would be very surprised.
Vikings-Bears, both teams 1-4.
My pick of the week is the Bears, just in spite of the Vikings, so maybe we can get a win that way. But if we lose a game, I wouldn't be mad because better pick. But you got to lose enough games to try to get a good pick and not win enough games. I mean, we can still dig ourselves out of a hole, and Kirk Cousins said that today, but you got to start here against the Bears if you're going to start it anywhere.
You got to win a game to get yourself out of the hole, and so far we haven't won. We've won a game against a winless team.
We're in a 4-deep hole.
That's true. Commanders-Falcons, I have no interest in that one.
Not really. I think Bijan Robinson's fun to watch, though.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
I think Chase Young is starting to become increasingly more overrated, but that's all I have.
Yeah. Seahawks Bengals. See if the Bengals offense can rebound after a good week.
This is a trap game for me. I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Bengals.
I think they should, but they have a bye last week. They're only 3-1.
Yeah, they did because I had Kenneth Walker and he didn't play. So
interesting. Early bye. Colts Jags. Jags should beat them if they just beat the Bills.
And the Colts are without AR5.
That's true.
Anthony Richardson. So that's tough. I think the Jags should wipe the floor. Trevor Lawrence is playing very weird this year. I thought he'd play better.
Yeah. Panthers Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 14.
H-Hand's out for 4 weeks though. So
that's true.
But they got plenty of dudes back there. They're not worried.
Yeah. Niners Browns. Niners favored by a tud.
You know, I think this will be close, but the Niners should take care of things. But this could be the game where the Niners kind of trip up.
It could be. I mean, middle of the season, you're kind of on cruise control after 5 wins. Could. Saints Texans.
I apologize to anybody that watches this. Actually, C.J. Stroud is playing nice football. I think the Texans might win the football game.
I think they might as well. Patriots Raiders. Talk about 2 dumpster fires.
Oh man, I cannot believe this is on a 3 o'clock game.
Oh, it's the CBS. That's the only CBS game.
That's just sad.
I will not be tuning into CBS at 3 o'clock.
No, there's a reason that Fox is America's Game of the Week got flexed, and that's the next one.
Lions Buccaneers 325.
I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I think Bucks are better than people think at 3-1. They had a bye last week. They're going to take care of business. I think they're going to not take care of business necessarily, but they'll keep it close against the Lions.
Yeah, it should be a pretty entertaining game. These are 2, might I say, really good teams in the NFC.
Absolutely.
Not quite to the level of the 49ers, but probably second tier NFC, if I had to guess. Cardinals, Rams. Eagles, Jets.
Yeah, about the same. I don't know. We'll see what the Jets are made of if they can keep it close.
And then the Sunday night game is the Giants and the Bills.
See, that game was going to be really good when it was.
It was supposed to be really good.
When it was thought up this offseason, that was supposed to be like, oh my gosh. Week 6, we're going to have the best game ever. We're going to have probably 2 4-1 teams going at it. And Buffalo's favored by 14 points, Cole. I think it might be more.
Well, it should be more because their defensive line is going to get to Daniel Jones so many times. He's going to come up the line and look confused as ever, like he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, Greg Russo may have 3 sacks or more in that one.
Twins are up 1-0, by the way. Bottom of the first, Royce Lewis.
They were favored today. So.
400-foot home run. Well, they were favored yesterday, too, and they lost 9-2.
Vegas knows.
And then the Monday night game, the Cowboys and the Chargers. This one should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what Herbert and Prescott have going on. We need to get together and watch this one because I went to watch the Chargers and
yeah,
I don't know. I enjoy watching.
Yeah, they're an interesting team because of their offensive scheme, I think, in my opinion.
But Staley just cannot pull it together when it matters. They should legitimately be 3-1.
Yeah,
but
they should be.
I mean, they have such a talented roster. But anyways, Cole, that's about perfect. We spent about 5 more minutes than we expected.
Well, that's all right. We got 10 minutes to talk about this next upcoming deal.
I know. And before we get to that, yes, that's what I was going to say. Before we get to that, I'm going to drop our phone line back in if you want to call into the CharCole Sports Show on KAOR 91.1 Vermillion, South Dakota. That phone number, 605-658-6813. I'm going to do it 2 more times here. I'll do it once, and then Cole will do it. 605-658-6813. Cole, what is it?
The phone number to call for the KAOR studio, 605-658-6813.
Awesome. All right, Cole, we have a bit of a new segment this week. It is not a bit of a new segment. It is a new segment, and we are going to talk about the 2024 NFL mock draft. We're going to do the first 10 picks. Conveniently, our boys, the Vikings, are in the top 10, which is astonishing for this point. But, Cole, let's get into it. We're both going to have our mock on separate screens, but we will be doing the exact same thing, taking the exact same picks. So, all right, let's get into it.
Well, I think we're going to have to go off of yours because Pro Football Focus is telling me I ran out of my daily draft limit, and I'm not subscribing to it.
Okay. Well, that's what we'll do. On the clock are the Chicago Bears. They have the first 2 picks. I'm going to run down the top 10. So Carolina should be the first pick of the draft, but they traded that pick away to the Bears. So the Bears have the first pick and the second pick, which hasn't happened, I think, in a long time, but I know it has happened. So the Bears have the first and second, Broncos 3, Vikings 4, Patriots 5, Giants 6, Cardinals 7, Packers 8, Raiders 9, and Cardinals 10. So 2 repeats in the top 10 for these respective teams. Cole, pick number 1 on the clock is the Chicago Bears via the Carolina Panthers. The average draft position for the man that should be picked here is 1.3, but who you taking?
Well, I've run this a couple times, and the website I just went to said Caleb Williams. The last time I went to Pro Football Focus, they said Drake May, but I think either way you put it, they're going to take a quarterback.
I think so, too, and according to Pro Football Focus, their needs are quarterback, wide receiver, guard, center, defensive line, and cornerback. So I think, Caleb Williams here?
I think he's undoubtedly the number 1 pick in my opinion, but you put him with wide receivers that have NFL talent, and I think he's going to be a completely different player.
I think so, too. In an offensive line that's better than
terrible. Exactly.
So pick number 2, the Bears up again. Who do you take? Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, Olu Muyiwa Fashanu. Kid's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. So 2, 3, 4, Marvin Harrison, Drake May, Fashanu, Brock Bowers, 5, and then Lietu Latu, 6. Joe Alt, 7. Chop Robinson, 2 Penn State Nittany Lions in the top 10. Kool-Aid McKinstry, his draft stock has fell tremendously throughout the year. And Malik Neighbors at 10. Keelan King, Cooper DeJean, Jared Verse, and some others. Cole, who do you got for the Bears? Pick number 2. They need a wide receiver, guard, center, defensive line, or cornerback.
I think the number 2 pick is, almost undoubtedly going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. in my opinion because they need a wide receiver. Honestly, more than they need a quarterback because Fields has shown that he can actually halfway throw the ball, but I think they go Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison is the pick that's locked in. Now on the clock, the Denver Broncos in need of a cornerback, a center, or a wide receiver. Could be a quarterback spot here as well, Cole. Drake May, notably on the top of the radar. Quarterbacks available up to this point. Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Riley Leonard, J.J. McCarthy, Shadir Sanders, and more recent information has pointed to Shadir going back to college for another year. Michael Pratt, Quinn Ewers, Jaden Daniels, Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, KJ Jefferson, Joe Milton, Sam Hartman, Cameron Ward, and Tanner Van Dyke. That's a heck of a quarterback class.
It is.
It's the deepest that I can remember.
It is. But the thing is I'm looking at wide receivers here, and they actually got some decent receivers to choose from. And this website, ProFootballNetwork.com, has them picking Kool-Aid McKinstry, number 3.
Yeah, that's where I thought they might go as well. Patrick Surtain is doing fine, but on the other side, who do they have?
Right.
They're going to pick up 2 Alabama corners and run with it. So I think Kool-Aid McKinstry will go 3. He was expected to go in the top 5, top 4 of most mock drafts before the college football season started. He skid a little bit, but that brings up the spot for the Minnesota Vikings here at the 4th spot. And this is kind of why we're doing this draft, Cole, is to analyze what the Vikings may do here at the 4th pick.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we could basically just end the draft right after this 4th pick because all we're doing is just trying to speculate who Minnesota's going to choose. But they've got options here, and I think depending on what happens if they trade anybody away, how the rest of the season goes, I mean, do you go quarterback here and sign Kirk to one more year to mentor him or just run with a rookie quarterback right away. Downside with running rookie quarterbacks right away is they could turn out like Bryce Young or they could turn out like C.J. Stroud.
Right, and you're not going to have to deal with the first pick of the draft curse usually.
Right.
But people do say Caleb Williams is a generational talent. However, the quarterbacks on the slate again, Drake May, who is starting to stand out as a Heisman frontrunner, Cole. He is making something out of an absolute abysmal North Carolina Tar Heels team. And then Bo Nix follows him. He's the 25th ranked player in the draft, so a huge fall off. But people like what Drake May has and bringing to the table, an ACC quarterback. The thing is,
he can sling it.
He can sling it, and he can run. He reminds me of a Daniel Jones that can move a little better. But I like Drake May here, Cole.
I think so, too, because, like you said, he's versatile, and I think that's what the Vikings need is they know that they've got the weapons to pass it to, depending on if they stay, after the season, whatnot. But I think Drake May is probably the pick here, in my opinion. Versatile quarterback, facilitator.
Absolutely, and so the Patriots follow them, and they would be very happy if this were the case because Olu Fashanu, the Penn State offensive tackle, is still on the board, and they need that, but they also need a quarterback, so I could see them going up at some point. Again, we're only going to go to the first 10 picks, but I think Fashanu is the pick here for the Patriots because they need help, and Fashanu is really good.
Yeah, I think that, this website I'm looking at right now has mocked the Patriots trade this pick with the Cardinals and get 7 and 38 out of it.
Yeah.
Which, with Belichick doing his deal, you never quite know what's going to happen.
No, they could end up in the third round with whatever this is.
Yeah, I think they'll go tackle here because you need it. No matter how good your quarterback is, if you got nobody blocking for him, he's not going to look good. So,
absolutely. The 6th pick of the NFL draft, the New York Football Giants in need of a running back, wide receiver, guard, center, edge, linebacker, or defensive back. Cole, one man stands out here to me. Who do you think the New York Football Giants are leaning towards?
Well, I just had it up when they took the tackle from Penn State. It's a great question. They got a lot of options. And it really just depends on what they need the most. If Saquon doesn't stay healthy,
doesn't matter.
You need a running back, but there's really not very many good running backs in the draft.
No, not this year. I'll kind of do a little quick rundown of running backs in the draft. Trey Benson from Florida State, Blake Corum from Michigan, who I think is going to be very good. Braylon Allen will jump up. I think he'll be a first-round running back after this college season's over. And then Donovan Edwards. Michigan has 2 running backs that are going to go extremely high. Will Shipley as well, a big name to talk about. And then, that's about it.
Yeah. Or they go receiver, or they go somebody on defense. I don't know. They got a lot of options here, Charlie.
I think they're going to take the edge man from UCLA, Cole. I think they're going to take Lietu Latu from UCLA there. So up to this point, I'll kind of run down our picks. Caleb Williams 1, Marvin Harrison 2, Kool-Aid McKinstry 3, Drake May 4, Fashanu 5, and Latu 6. So, Cole, the Cardinals are on the clock. They have a need of quarterback, who Kyler Murray is doing his little thing. Wide receiver, guard, center, defensive line, linebacker, or cornerback. Cole, where do you go here?
You trade off the whole team and restart. I don't know.
You trade up.
You need a lot. You need a lot if you're the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I honestly have no idea where they're going to go here. They have so many needs that, their whole defense, their offensive line, their quarterback, and their receivers. The only thing they don't need is a running back, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing that sticks out here. They really don't need line, defense or offensive line is what I'm thinking. So I could see them going D-line somewhere, edge. But the man that sticks out to me the most is Malik Neighbors.
That's what I was thinking too. Get Kyler a good receiver.
Yeah, a bigger guy, good physical man, and Neighbors. 3 picks left, Cole. Actually, we'll probably only do 2 because we don't need to do the Cardinals twice.
Right.
The Packers on the clock now. The Packers need running back, tackle, defensive interior, or safety. Cole, one man sticks out here from Notre Dame, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think they go with the big tackle from Notre Dame. You need somebody, especially if Bakhtiari's career is running down. Now, he's really good, but you need a really good backup for him.
And that Tom guy, I don't know what his first name is, had a rough day at the office the other night. So
yes, he did.
Joe Alt would fit right into that scheme if Matt LaFleur is still there.
True, but I think they draft him anyway.
Absolutely. The Raiders on the clock now. They need a quarterback, running back, offensive line, defensive interior, a linebacker, or defensive back. Cole, the 9th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Raiders take who?
It's a great question. They need just about everybody. Most notably, I mean, basically their whole team. And like you look at their needs, and it's quite literally their whole team. I don't know. They could pick anybody, but I think I go with D-back here. Corner, either the Kalen King from Penn State or Cooper DeJean from Iowa, I think is where they go.
All right. Kalen King will be the... Okay, Cole, we're having a pickle here because somebody just texted me that they would like to call in, and I wonder if you're out of state, if you have to put the 1 before the... If you have to put the 1 before the phone number.
I don't know. Silly out-of-staters?
I know.
I couldn't tell. I have no idea.
Well, maybe the light's not where. That'd be a pickle, too. Is the phone on there?
That would be interesting.
Is the phone on right? I hope he's not trying to call in. Anybody?
No, there's nobody on the line.
Okay, so hang that up there. We'll see what happens. Is the phone even working?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Well, if this particular person would like to call in, we'll take their call, and you can talk about anything. You don't even have to talk about sports.
Yeah, we would. Honestly, we could put you on the air for 20 minutes, and as long as we get our picks of the weekend, we could call it a show.
We could riddle you about. I mean, we had a call about the pheasant population last week.
Yeah, we did.
So that was a fun little time. So, yeah, anyways, again, that phone number, if you want to call in, 605-658-6813. If you're listening to the CharCole Sports Show out of the state of South Dakota, I recommend putting a 1 before the phone number to see if you can get through to our lines. We've dealt with that issue before. We had a man from Wisconsin call, and he got through after he put a 1 before the phone number. So
that's interesting. I don't know why you would need to do that, but maybe you would.
I don't know either.
Well, what do you suppose? We take a quick break and come back, talk about the Coyotes?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's come back and talk about something awesome. The Coyote Athletics. We can talk about Coyote Athletics. I mean, things are going great right now down here in Vermilion.
They are looking up.
And, I mean, it's a great time to be alive down here. There's rumors that a big name morning show is coming. We'll talk about that when we get back, too. It's a great time to be alive down here in Vermilion, Cole Larsch, and you're listening to the CharCole Sports Show on KAOR 91.1 Vermilion. And welcome back to the CharCole Sports Show, and we're looking to talk about some great stuff here, Cole Larsch.
We are.
The USD Coyotes are winning a lot. I mean, this is great. Vermilion is hopping. D-days are over. We're going to focus, and we're going to get some wins on the board. And we'll start off with volleyball. They went 2-0 over the weekend, Cole. Let's get into that. They're 9-7 now on the year. They're 3-2 in the Summit League. Cole, let's talk about the Yotes volleyball team.
Well, I started off Thursday. They traveled up to Grand Forks, North Dakota. I got to turn off my music here before I turn. There we go. Grand Forks, North Dakota won 3-2, capped off by a thrilling 18-16 final set. This thing says the duration was 0 hours and 5 minutes. I don't believe that one bit. But yeah, that was a really good game. Brought us back to 2-2 in the Summit League. Huge win. Got us over 500. Coach Williamson, 200th career win. So that's always huge. But they're still on the road. Then on Saturday, they traveled to Fargo to take on North Dakota State in another 3-2 victory, Madison Harms led the way with 17 kills. Cameron Ferris, 13 digs. Won that one in 3 sets as well. Looked like they had him on the ropes through the first 3 sets. They were up 2-1. Lost, I shouldn't say pretty badly, but it was not a great 4th set for the Coyotes, but they pulled away. 3-2 victory, 9-7 on the year, 3-2 in the Summit League, and they got a big game tomorrow.
They do. The Tommies of St. Thomas coming to town. That game in the Sanford Coyote Sports Center. Cole, we're not going to be able to take part of being in the crowd, but the Tommies come to town, and they're looking to spoil the lunch of the streak that the Coyotes got going. 3 games in a row here, which is huge. They have not gone on a 3-game winning streak since they went to Green Bay.
Yep.
So a nice little run here from the Yotes. Looking to take care of St. Thomas. Kansas City again. They got to go down to Kansas City. And then, Cole, next Tuesday, the STSU USD women's volleyball game takes place here in Verm. And, Cole, where will we be?
We'll be in the Birdcage at Vermilion High School calling a high school volleyball game, unfortunately. So that place will be packed, and it's going to be a pretty good match. But still, 3 very winnable games upcoming here for the Coyotes. St. Thomas, bottom in the Summit. They're 0-5 right now in league play. So a very winnable game. And then they travel to Kansas City to a team that they lost 3-1 to. But big opportunities here for the Coyotes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to get some wins on the board here. We had a chance to go to a game, and I think they're going to improve a lot, Cole. And
yeah, I agree.
I think once it's time to get ready to go play Summit League in the Summit League tournament, I think they'll be ready to go. So we'll see what happens there. That brings us to our next varsity sport here at the U, the football team.
Yeah, buddy.
They took care of business again and gained a lot more respect, not only by the coaches, but by the media across the country.
Well, still not really by the coaches.
Right, yes.
The coaches' poll is... I don't even want to get on a tangent about it because it just feels so far off, and it's not just us and our fans that are saying that, but everybody's fans are saying it.
Right, even SDSU fans, which they just don't like NDSU, but
right,
you give and take.
But still, I mean, it's just, we'll get to that if we ever get to that in a second. But yeah, Coyotes win 38-7 on D-Days. Aiden Bauman 17 for 23, 195 and a tud. But I think the man of the game, Travis Tice, 26 carries, 190 and 2 touchdowns. Charles Pierre Jr., 13 carries, 80 and 2. Big game for the Yotes.
Yeah, it was a big game, and they took care of business when they were supposed to. You and I thought, you know what, maybe the Yotes are going to come out and play slow right away.
That was the scare.
You tend to do that on the homecoming, and they took care of business on D-Days, and it was a nice little time. Walked out of there with a 31-point win. A very short game, 2 hours, 47 minutes, which when you have mid-co, they do those games and they have those media breaks. So a 31-point game for an hour or 2 hours and 47 minutes, Cole.
Wait, you mean those media breaks where it goes touchdown, media break, kickoff, media break?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Don't even get me fired up, Charles.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So scoring breakdowns if you want them. Bauman threw a touchdown pass to J.J. Galbraith. That was kind of fun to watch. I was happy to see that happen. Charles Pierre Jr. had an 8-yard touchdown run. I think he dived into the end zone for that one. And then Murray State got on the board. Quadarius Jennings had a 58-yard touchdown pass from DJ Williams. Travis Tice had a 25-yard touchdown run. Will Leyland had a field goal. Travis Tice had a 3-yard touchdown run, and Charles Pierre Jr. had a 10-yard touchdown run. Cole, that rounds out our 38-7 score. The Yotes are doing something special this week. Very cheap tickets right now, and I don't know the exact code. I think it's Go Yotes or something.
It's Yotes. The code is Yotes on the website. $10 gets you in the door.
Sell it out.
you get 2 hot dogs and a beverage of your choice, it'll be $20. So might as well go there, get a $10 ticket. Why not sell it? The USD SDSU game, by the way, is officially sold out as of yesterday.
And we're not going.
No. Well, you for sure are not. I have not heard any official plans from mi padre.
I don't know. I might go. Like, I would say there's a 10% chance, and I'm sorry if Dan Ranke is listening to this game. When you guys come hunting, just happens to be when the 10th ranked Yotes take on the number 1 ranked SDSU Jackrabbits, and that brings us into. We'll get into that.
By that time, it might be a top 5 matchup.
It might be. We'll get into that when we get into that. We're going to talk about what Youngstown State brings to the table, and that is the matchup this week for the Coyotes. Another home game, Cole. And the Yotes stay home this week, take on the Penguins of Youngstown State. They drop back in the polls a little bit this week. And
they jumped up.
Or they jumped up in the polls. They weren't in the polls.
Tied for 20th right now, according to the coaches' poll. I believe they're higher than that. No, 23rd in the Stats Perform top 25.
And, Cole, the Penguins are a legit football team, and I mean, they're not going to think we're sloughs. I mean,
no.
They're going to come into the game and expect a dogfight, and we're going to have to just deal with it. You know what? And
they just had a big win.
I know, and they took care of you and I too.
Yeah, they took care of you and I. And who they beat last week? It was the Salukis, because it was the Penguins and the Salukis. Quite a mascot battle there.
Right, and the Salukis are very well respected among.
They were undefeated
Valley.
at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Salukis and the Penguins very respected among the Missouri Valley and the country and the FCS as a whole.
31-3 last week at Southern Illinois. They have allowed the fewest rushing yards nationally. They have 19 sacks for 133 yards. Fifth year junior linebacker Alex Howard has 4 sacks and 32 tackles. Northern Michigan transfer Tyshawn King has scored 8 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards a carry. Quarterback Mitch Davidson is averaging 203 yards passing. And Bryce Oliver has 29 catches, 400 and a tud. Quick notes, I'm not going to read through all of them. The series, Youngstown State leads the series 8-2, and the home team has won the last 6 matchups, Charles.
Yeah, that's big. But the other big thing is the Yotes are in the top 10 since 27 for the first time since 2017. So that's another huge thing. But the Penguins have had to play 2 tough games 2 weeks in a row. Cole, we just saw what happened to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish when that happened.
Yeah.
When you play 2 games tough in a row, the third game is going to be tough because, you know what, you're going to have to deal with some injuries.
You're worn down a little bit.
You are worn down a little bit. And I just think the Yotes are going to have more in the tank this week.
I think so. I think we're going to have a big game for the Yotes and a big win. Move up. We're going to be ranked 7th after this one, Charles.
Yeah, I think so too. Hopefully, if it's taken care of in the right way, and you dominate, you might jump up more and gain more respect. But Cole, the talk of the town, if you want to get into that right now.
I got one more note for you about this game. The Coyote defense currently leads the nation in scoring, only allowing 13.4 points per game, and ranks 14th in total defense, allowing just over 300 a game. Good defense, brother. Defense wins championships.
Absolutely. Their D-line's really good. D-tackles are good as well. Having Nick Gase back is a huge addition.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, Cole. These Yotes are looking mighty fine heading into the Penguins. The Penguins are going to be scared of us. I remember for a short time the Youngstown State team was a premier team, and they still are a premier team in the Valley and in the FCS. But for a premier team like this to be worried about the Yotes to this extent is good stuff if you're a Coyote fan now.
Yeah, this is going to be a big game, and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. Now we can discuss the rumor if you would like.
Speaking of looking forward, Cole Larsch, the tweet that has been sent around amongst you and I, our, I guess, advisor, John Thayer, and a few of the Coyote faithful is the talk of College Game Day possibly coming to town. That would be huge when the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State come to town. Again, that game is the 28th of October. Now, looking forward, if you want to do a little looking with me, Cole Larsch, let's look at the week
Next week.
Let's look at the week of the 28th across the top 10.
28, is it not the 21st we play them?
It is the 28th. The 21st is Indiana State.
Huh. Had me fooled. 28th. All right. I'm looking.
So, Ohio State plays Wisconsin. Fox will cover that. So, big noon Fox will cover that. So, Fox, wake up with whatever that show is called. We'll take care of that one because it's Big Ten. Florida State, Wake Forest, maybe. Oklahoma, Kansas, maybe. Penn State, Indiana, maybe. They won't go to Washington. They don't like going to Pac-12 schools. They won't go to Utah or Oregon because one of those teams will fall off after this week.
Yep.
They won't go to BYU, Texas.
Nope.
They won't go to USC, California.
Nope.
They won't go to North Carolina, Georgia Tech because they've been to North Carolina. They won't go to Ole Miss, Vandy. They might go to Duke, Louisville. That might be the one.
Yeah.
Colorado, UCLA, they won't go there. I could see them going to Kentucky or Tennessee and Georgia, Florida. This is a very, very weak week. Or not say, I'm not going to, that's not the word I meant to use. This is a very bad week across the state, or not across the state, across the country, as far as things go, Cole, for two teams that could possibly get College Game Day.
Yeah.
And when the Jacks played the Bison, when Game Day came to town in Brookings, mentioned that Cole and I were there.
We were.
We did take part in that. We didn't get any sleep, but not the point. There were a few games across the country, but the big thing about that was their new host, Pat McAfee. That was his first time doing a show, and he's an SDSU fan. So Reese Davis, Pat McAfee, might push to come back for South Dakota for this huge matchup, but it's got to be worth it for these two. And I think College Game Day has a legitimate shot to come here.
Yeah.
But we talked about it yesterday. It would just be so hard. You'd have to shut down Cherry Street because the talk is you're going to have to put them in front of, or not in front
Old
of, but
Main.
north of Old Main.
Yeah. But Old Main is the backdrop.
But then that whole lawn right there would just be smushed, you know?
Nothing that 7,000 gallons of water won't fix, 'cause that's what it feels like USD puts in their water anyway.
Absolutely. And so that would be really cool.
You think we sidetrack for a second? We think we need to make a friendly wager with Tavin Carncross, the host of the Nosebleeds,
Why is
he's a
that?
Bears fan for next week.
I'll throw $5 in.
I didn't mean for money, but you never know.
You never do. Anyways, that's the Rumorville. That'd be so cool. But Game Day doesn't even know where they're going until it happens. So
No, they do not.
So that'd be ideal. If it happens, I will guarantee you that you will see the host of the Nosebleeds and the CharCole Sports Show in the front of College Game Day in the pit. I will put a guarantee to that.
If they are here, I will be there.
Yes.
That is
I will drop anything to go to College Game Day for that one. So, yeah, no, it should be a good one if that happens. But the Jacks and the Yotes will play the 28th of October. That one taking place here in Vermilion, that one on Midcoast Sports. So, Cole, it should be a fun time there, and my headphones are breaking out. There we go.
You and your headphones. Why do you keep messing with them?
I don't know. Just fidget with them. So, Cole, are we on schedule? Kind of.
I don't know. You tell me.
I think we're decently on schedule. Let's talk about some prep sports real quick. Last week, Cole, let's just alternate here.
All right.
Madison beat Lennox, and now that was a shocker.
Because Madison had yet to win a game.
Yeah. I remember looking at that score thinking it was wrong, but Madison beat Lennox 14-8, Cole.
Interesting game. Lennox, they might have had some injuries, but I don't know. Move on to the next one. West Central winner. Winner beats West Central 28-0.
We watched that one together, and I did not find that game fun to watch.
No. But if winner does what they want to, usually the games aren't very interesting to watch. They get up by 2 scores, and they just run about 10 minutes off the clock every time they touch the ball.
Uh-huh. And the next one on the docket, EPJ beat Tri-Valley. Tri-Valley scored the first 14. EPJ scored 24 straight to win it. And the Huskies showed that, you know what?
Survive.
They can play, yeah, they survive.
Corsica-Stickney, you could call it an upset against Freeman Mary and Freeman Academy, 14-12.
So a little insight on this one. Waylon Bull, the sophomore running back, out for the rest of the season. So they took their starting quarterback, put him to their 3-back or their tailback, Cole, and put a new guy in at quarterback and just gave Cartwright the ball. And
Whatever works.
That's how they won
Whatever
the game.
works.
So that was wild. Hanson beat Viborg Hurley 62-18, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, Hanson keeps putting up big points.
Absolutely. And now to this week, Cole. I mean, we're dang near on schedule. About a minute. Let's go through this really fast.
Big games of the week, one game for each class. 9B, Elkton Lake Benton from 9AA travels to DeSmet, both teams 6-1.
Yeah, huge game. We'll see. We'll learn a lot about both of these teams. Has absolutely massive playoff implications.
9AA, Dubrook area travels to Del Rapids St. Mary.
9A this week, but yeah, Dubrook
What
area.
did I say? Double A?
Yeah, you said 9AA.
Oh, my bad. 9A.
No, the Dolphins of Dubrook area and the Cardinals of St. Mary should be a fun one here. Not sure who I like in this one, but should be a good matchup.
9AA, Canastota travels to Platte Geddes.
I think you and I have deciphering opinions about this one, but we've called Canastota this year, and we'll learn a lot about these two teams. Platte has not played a game where, I mean, they've kept every game close, Cole.
Yeah, and some of the games they play have not been against good teams either.
No, not at all. The 11B matchup, Bridgewater Emory Ethan takes on Elk Point Jefferson. I'll be on the call for that one. Really excited for that. These two teams, this is really about who wants to have another home playoff game.
Basically, I think that's basically what it's going to come down to is who solidifies home playoff.
Absolutely. 11A, West Central, and Lennox. It looked a lot better last week looking forward,
Right.
but not as much this week.
Both teams take tough losses. It's going to be interesting to see who bounces back.
Absolutely. In the 11AA matchup, Pierre takes on T-Area. Huge. Pierre has never lost to T-Area. They've played them multiple times the past 2 years since T has jumped up, but I have Pierre in this one, Cole.
It's going to be a close one, but I think Pierre takes care of business.
There'd be no way that Pierre loses 2 games in a row.
No, that'd be the first time that's happened in what?
Our lifetime.
Yeah, probably.
And Sioux Falls Jefferson takes on Brandon Valley. That should be a good one in AAA if you're a fan of that. We're a minute behind schedule, but we're doing pretty good. We're going to get into our picks of the week. Cole Larsch, let's get into our standings. Do you want to go over those?
Yeah, I can. I'm currently right now. I went 2-3 last week. I'm 11-9 overall. I took the West Central winter game incorrectly. Nebraska won. I got that one right. USD won. I got that one right. Notre Dame lost and the Rams lost. Got those two wrong. Charlie currently sits 10-6-1. He went 2-1 last week after Garrettson blew the doors off of Irene Wakanda. NDSU took care of Missouri State, and the Vikings lost to the Chiefs. My picks this week, number 2 in 9B, DeSmet, who is 6-1. Going to take on number 5 in 9AA, Elkton Lake Benton, who is also 6-1. Got a little inside information here against a very trustworthy source. DeSmet by a touchdown.
Okay. Cole, my high school pick this week is simple. Pierre Governors are not going to lose 2 games in a row, and they're going to defeat T.
Simple enough. You want to go over your college pick?
Yeah, I suppose I could. The UNC Tar Heels are going to take care of business against Miami. They had a fluke loss last week versus the Georgia Tech. What are they? The Yellow Jackets, I think. And UNC is going to beat the Hurricanes. Miami is not playing good football, and their coach it might be on the legitimate hot seat, to the point he might be kicked off the bus.
My college pick for this week, number 10 in the land, USC, 6-0. They are 3-point underdogs, and I believe they travel to, is it at USC or at Notre Dame? I can't remember. They take on number 21, who's 5-2, Notre Dame. Give me USC and give me the points. +3.
Yeah, I like that. We'll learn a lot about both these teams this week. Your pro pick, Cole Larsch.
My pro pick for the week, the San Francisco 49ers. I am hopping on the bandwagon. We said in our analysis earlier, they could very easily lose this one, and honestly, they might. I'm taking the Niners, 5-0, against the Cleveland Browns, who are 2-2. -7 are the 49ers. I'm giving the 7 points, and I think Niners going to win by 2 tuds.
I could see that for sure, but who knows? Cleveland might win the thing by 30. I mean,
They honestly might.
the way your picks are going, at least.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's going for me right now.
And I prefaced it earlier in the show. The Bears take care of the Vikings, according to my pick. I don't care if I lose the pick here. I just want the Vikings to win. So I have the Bears plus 2.5 over the Vikings, Cole.
Interesting pick from you, considering all the analysis we did, but you know what?
I'm just doing it in spite of.
Yeah,
You're
you're just hoping that your pick is wrong so they actually win the game.
Right.
Well, that about wraps up the show for us. Charlie, you want to take us through the outro here?
Yeah, quick run through here before we run through the outro. We get a little bit of time. Home events for the Coyote Athletics coming up. Softball, that actually started 3 hours ago against Northwestern. They have volleyball tomorrow versus St. Thomas. Football on Saturday versus Youngstown State. That starts at 1 p.m. Again, get your ticket for that. $10 tickets for that one. Soccer.
Use the code YOTES at checkout.
Yes, indeed. North Dakota State on Sunday at 1. Tuesday, they take on South Dakota State at 7 p.m. Be there. And then Thursday, they take on Omaha at 6 p.m. Softball, I think, what's that, a week from? It's next Saturday against Dakota State. So that rounds out USD Sports, and that rounds out our show. The CharCole Sports Show, what's this, the 8th edition now, Cole?
Something like that. 7, 8, I don't know. I can't count that high.
That's wild. And we would ask you generously to subscribe to our Spotify, Apple Music, and where else are we, Cole? Anywhere
That's
else?
about it.
That's about
and
it.
We're about a week behind because for some reason the recordings just take a week to upload. I don't know.
Good stuff. And we appreciate you listening to us. And follow us on Twitter, Cole, the at
CharCole Sports, CharCole Sports. Keep you updated with everything that's happening with the show over there.
Absolutely. We appreciate you tuning in today to the CharCole Sports Show on KAOR 91.1 Vermilion. We will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place, right here on the CharCole Sports Show.